Okay, this video will be out how to use standard deviation and how to use it to produce error bars. Okay, we've got a set of data over here for the sucrose birefractive index experiments. We've run it 3 times. It's always best to run an experiment a number of times and then we get much better data from it. So I've got the average there, but the average isn't fantastically useful in telling us about the quality of the data. What we actually need to use is something called a standard deviation. There's plenty of information available online. There's quite a nice summary of it at the Biology for Life webpage. It notes that averages don't tell us anything about the sample. And it's got these 2 examples which both have the same average, but in the first one the data is much more tightly clustered together, and so probably better quality data than the second one where it's much more widely distributed. So, how do we calculate standard deviation? It's quite straightforward. There is a formula for it. Let's type enter equals stdev. And in the usual way, we pull across to select these data. Save that, then pull down. Standard deviation for the 0 value is 0, in fact, because all the data is the same. But as we scroll down, we'll see it is quite different for various ones. Okay, so I've done the usual things we do with a standard line. We've got the equation of line the r squared there, and I've also done the calculations for slope and intercept using the functions. And one thing I like to point out before we go on and look to Excel data is getting your numbers into a consistent format. At the moment we've got a number of different significant figures after the decimal point. It'd be nice if we had a consistent one. The maximum one here is, I think, probably 4 is a reasonable number. So what I'm going to do is just going to select all of these. I'm going to right click and go to Format Cells, Number. You can do all sorts of formatting using this particular dialog. Change this to 4 and click on OK, and then now all have 4 places after decimal point. These haven't down here yet, but here's a top tip actually, which is using Format Painter. That's the format we like. We click on Format Painter, then we just pull down, it'll do it automatically. Right, so the next step is to add error bars to this graph using the standard deviations. Now if you use error bars in Excel as it presents them, they're a bit useless. What we need to do is think a little bit more deeply about it. So I'm going to double click on that, and it's brought up the dialog for add chart element. So we go down to error bars. There's a number of options here, none of which we actually want. We want more error bars options. It's stuck in horizontal and vertical error bars. We'll get rid of them in a minute. What we need to do is go to custom error amount and click on specify value. Okay, I'm just going to delete these 2, and then what we're going to do is add these standard deviations both in a positive direction and a negative direction. It sounds a bit strange, but it is a plus and minus thing. So we're going to add the same data twice. So I'm going to click on there, pull down, click on there again, select the negative value, which is the same data, click on OK, get rid of that. And now we've got this appeared. So we're just going to click on that and delete the horizontal ones, leave the vertical ones. And there's a graph showing the error bars based on the standard deviation for each set of measurements. So hope that was helpful.